All right. I feel like I have to say this was, again, another episode where there was like 5 minutes of actual content and then 55 minutes of commercials, old home videos, old Sister Wives episodes. I mean, there's just not enough content to go around here. But I did think that this episode was better than it was more important than the last in that I guess a couple things happened. The first, I want to talk about Meri. Then I want to talk about Kody's general parenting. And then I want to talk about Truly learning how to ride her bike. So as it relates to Meri, in this episode, Kody and Meri have an anniversary. He doesn't call her. She calls him and goes, hey, do you want to go out? And he kind of eventually says to her, yeah. And then he tells her, hey, look, I'm not in love with you. I don't know why you're around. This is silly what we're doing here. This is a fake relationship. And I think Meri, for the first time, at least in this season, sort of recognized, oh my God, that this really may not work. And, you know, I thought that Kody came across in an exceptionally harsh, cruel, and direct manner. And while I think that he's an asshole, to me, I'm kind of like, finally, because Meri needs to hear it in a very direct way. What's shocking, though, is that Meri hears it, and at the beginning of the episode, you hear the story and you go, oh, poor Meri, I can't believe you went through that. Now you're going to get out of the relationship. Thank goodness you're going to be happy. And then at the end of the episode, she goes, look, I have the option of being with him for eternity in this miserable relationship. I don't want to be in a miserable relationship with Kody anymore. She goes, or I have the option of abandoning the relationship. And that doesn't line up with my values. So as an audience member, I'm kind of like, so what are we going to do? She's going to try and work it out with Kody. At this point, after all of this, she still wants to try and work it out with him. I mean, I admire her resolve. I admire the fact that maybe I don't admire it. I feel bad for it. The truth is, I feel bad for her. I don't trust that it's really resolve. I think that it comes from self-doubt. And I feel bad saying that, but that's how I feel about it. It feels like she is being abused by her husband. She's being clearly mistreated, has been for years, and she is putting up with it because I think she is scared to go out on her own. It's just sad. He clearly has no interest in her, and he's verbalized that to her. So it's a little bit like, now it's not Kody's fault. You've been told, and you're not able to step out. And I mean, I recognize that a part of it is her faith. God, I like whenever I react to Sister Wives, I really try not to be judgmental about the faith, because I know I don't know enough about it, and that's her thing, and that's, it's a large part of who Meri is. But man, do I feel like it is restricting her. It's just like, it feels like it's both a crutch that makes her feel stable when she's not, and it's a prison cell that keeps her in this super unhealthy relationship. I don't think I have anything else to say about Meri beyond that, but it's just sad to watch. And that brings us to Kody's incredible parenting and the warmth that exudes from Robyn and Kody's house. So they have Isabel over, they have Truly over, and they're all having dinner. And I didn't notice it, but the commenters noticed that there wasn't enough chicken to go around. Robyn's like, it's so great. Truly's comfortable. Isabel's comfortable. It's a warm party. And then it's snap cut to Isabel, who's like, and then, Kody says, there's a little bit of tension between some of the kids. And then Robyn's going, yeah, we don't quite know what it is. It's like there's a wall there. I don't know what's happening. And it's just like this silly game that the two of them are playing where they won't recognize that they have accountability in all of this. And neither one of them, I don't think, is really willing to do anything to resolve the relationship. So they're just sort of losing kids, right? And then the producers asked Kody about Maddie, who we haven't heard from, and Kody goes, yeah, I don't know when it happened, but, I think, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but something happened, and as a consequence, she isn't talking to me anymore, and it's been a long time. And it's like this weird, he's just not engaged. He's not invested in the kids enough to give a shit. I can't imagine, I don't care how many kids you have, I can't imagine a child not talking to their father and the father going, I don't know what it was. Hopefully it'll just resolve itself on its own. Like there's just no investment. You would think that he would be pursuing her, he'd be asking her, he'd be apologizing, he'd be trying to figure out a way to resume the relationship. But that's the story with Kody all season. There is friction with many of his children, and he is unwilling to take the first step to resolve the relationship. In fact, he is demanding that they come to him in his house where he is comfortable, where he is king, to fix the relationship. And so that desire to be king, that desire to be praised or respected, is destroying all of his familiar relationships. Now, the thing I actually want to talk about here is Truly. So when I watched this season or this episode with my wife, you get a clip of Kody trying, I guess 4 years ago, trying to teach Truly at, I guess, the age of 8 how to ride her bike. And it's not going well, and he's kind of pushing her and yelling at her and saying, hey, get back on the bike and try harder. I thought that he was a little bit aggressive, but I thought, man, if my child's 8 and can't ride a bike, maybe I also would be pushy. And then I watched how Christine and this whole family was sort of supporting her as she was trying to ride this bike, which, by the way, the seat was too high, just side note, too big of a bike. But she's trying to ride this bike, and she can't do it. And, Christine says, look, if she doesn't want to do it, that's fine. I'm going to let her give up. And I told my wife, I wouldn't, that's not how it would go with me. I would push her. I think she needs to fall. I think she needs to fall and realize that she's going to survive so that she can get back out there. Like, I don't know what lesson is being learned by her struggling in this way. Posted the video. And then several people in the comments said, hey, I think she might be neurodivergent, which I didn't know. And I don't know that they've talked about it in any of the Sister Wives episodes, and I definitely don't want to be here wondering about a 12-year-old's. I don't want to offer. I've tried really hard in all of these reactions not to evaluate the kids. So here's what I'll say. I don't know anything about Truly, but if I did find out that she was neurodivergent, that would be a very important thing to consider when teaching her to ride a bike. So for example, let's just say hypothetically that she was autistic. The sensory processing issues that come with that absolutely can affect someone's ability to learn how to ride a bike, right? So this sensation of movement feels different. They can get preoccupied by all the mechanics of the bike. They could get distracted by the massive crowds of people. They could have self-doubt and shame about being behind their peers. There's a 1,000 things that could influence how a kid would ride their bike. And so I just want to say, I was reacting assuming that there was nothing else at play, and I think that might have been a mistake. If I found out that she was neurodivergent, I think the way that Mitch did it seemed best, right? I don't know that the hordes of people probably are not needed, but to allow her to be self-directed in it, to allow her to feel fully supported, and to have one kind of calming voice explaining what was happening, that's probably the best path. I will say that if that's the case, the clips they showed of Kody yelling at her because she couldn't ride a bike are atrocious.
No, I don't want to do this.
There's no crying in baseball, sweetheart.
This isn't baseball.
This is bike riding. It's easier than baseball.
If he knows that about his daughter and then still reacts that way when she's learning how to ride a bike, it's abhorrent in my opinion. So that's kind of my global reaction. Again, not a lot happened. Let me know what you think in the comments below.